Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Dad Girls. I'm your host, Bree St. Marie. We have Danny B here as well, and your other host, Ravishing Rachel. And tonight, joining us is Rachel Lawson. How you doing?
Did you just call me Rachel
Uh,
Lawson? It's Karen
Fuck,
Lawson.
I did.
Hang on.
Because I'm
Hang on.
looking at Rachel. I'm looking at Rachel when I did it.
Actually, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it going. I can edit this out, but
Okay, all
yes.
right, all right.
I was about to say, it's like, wait, hang on,
Wow,
Karen, did
great
you
start.
change your name?
So
Woo!
for the
Okay,
outtakes,
okay,
so for the outtakes episode, perfect.
perfect. We
Yeah,
still have to create those, so that was on purpose.
that's a pretty shade of pink you've got.
Okay, all right. I am gonna look at you when I do this time. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Dad Girls. I'm one of your.
Okay.
I hate you. I hate you. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Dad Girls. I'm one of your hosts, Bree St. Marie. We also have Danny B and Ravishing Rachel, and tonight we have our guest Karen Lawson. How you doing? You look like you've been through the ringer.
Hi.
You should see
Yep,
the other guy.
definitely made you the ringer.
So tell us who you are. Tell us your story.
Okay. So, um, really, Daddy? Right.
Sorry.
So, um, my name's Karen. I'm from the UK, from Newcastle. Um, I transitioned in 1997, so
Yeah.
I'm technically what you'd probably call a trans elder, even though I hate the term.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, I mean, I'm only 42. I don't want like written over the hill just yet and called a trans elder, but I like the fact that they class it as knowledge, so I'll take that. But yeah, so I transitioned in 1997, so when I was like 16, in like
Wow.
a little small backward coal mine in town. Best way I can describe it is if any of you have seen a film called Billy Elliot,
Yes.
uh, yeah, that was kind of like the town that I grew up in. So imagine like a trans version of that. That was my childhood. Um, so yeah, it wasn't exactly the greatest, but my way of coming out to everybody was that I stuck it in the local newspaper. Uh, I was like, yeah, I will make sure that you listen to me. There you go.
Wait, what was the reasoning behind that? Did you just
Right. So I told my family when I was 10, and they just did not believe me. They weren't having any of it. So I tried to make like bigger and more elaborate ways of them to like try accept me and believe what I was telling them. So I would like buy more clothes, hide around the house. I ran away from home. I tried everything, but it was like literally banging my head against a brick wall. And then technically because I was like still a child, it was like child mentality. I thought, well, the only way that people get listened to is if like it's in the newspaper. So I was like, yeah. So I tunneled off down to the local newspaper. I'm like, yep, I'm trans. I want to transition. I'm a girl. And yeah,
I would love to see 16-year-old you and be like, what's the best way to get this announcement out there? The newspaper.
like
Newspapers and
ironically,
telegrams.
well, like I think I've actually got part of that article on my Instagram somewhere. I'm sure that's one of my posts on my Instagram somewhere. I actually I found the old newspaper article and
No
like put shots.
way.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I mean, I'm
Um,
all about promoting and stuff, so yeah, I think that's on there somewhere.
what were
I
Um,
the sorry, go ahead, Rachel.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like when I came out, I had to have the same conversation over and over and over
True.
to,
Yeah.
this friend and this relative and that I mean, I guess that's one way to just, just boom, all at once, just
yeah,
pop.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like
exactly.
the
Everybody knew.
the 90s version of posting it on Facebook.
Oh my
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. There wasn't social media back then. I
Yeah.
mean, the only thing that kind of existed was one of those like freaky little chat rooms where they had
You
like
could
little
put on
square people
Freaky
that
GeoCities.
you could
little
talk
chat
to.
room.
You can put it,
Yeah.
put it on your GeoCities. It's like, hey, by the
It's
way,
like little cubes. Hi, I'm Stacy and I'm 16. No, you're not. Your name's Fred and you're 59.
um,
ASL.
what were the people
Oh
at the
God.
newspaper? Were they cool with it? Did you have a bunch of allies there, or were they just like wanting the
Oh no,
money?
no, no. They just wanted to like they just saw it as controversial and it sold newspapers, so that they weren't bothered. It was like this big. Oh, this is the most exciting thing to happen in this town in a long time. Of course, we're going to print this. We're not
That
bothered
is
about the
so
shit stuff that it's
brave.
going to cause.
That's so brave of you to do. I mean, like I remember being in high school and being terrified of anything that was against the status quo. That's like, were you rebellious growing up? Did you like were you like
Um,
other things rebellious?
I I wouldn't say that I was rebellious. I think the most rebellious thing that I did was probably like start smoking when I was like 11, 12.
That's pretty rebellious
Um,
though. I mean,
well, but right, there was method to my madness though, because I started smoking because of that age-old myth of like smoking stunts your growth.
yeah.
So I was
Forward.
down. I was down in those 20 packs. But
That
hey,
sounds awesome. Because you just didn't want to
but
get. But
exactly, yeah. All my
yeah.
friends were like going up like really, really tall. But hey, listen, I'm only 5'7", so clearly something works.
Hey, honestly, yeah. I mean, that was yeah. Like I mean, not to harp too much, but yeah, I remember like all my friends growing up and they started having like arm hair and getting really, all the masculine stuff started coming out, and I was so like, if I'd have thought maybe smoking, that probably could have been. Damn it! Why didn't I get to smoking?
Well,
But
this
That's
was it. It was like,
hilarious. That
I'll do the smoke.
that sounds like that came out at the exact same time. The myth of butter is good for you because it lubes your arteries, makes your blood flow faster.
Yeah.
Yo. I'm always down for the lube.
Yeah, right. Vein lube, bring it on.
um, so what was the community? Was there a community back when you were coming out, or was it just you?
Um, it was literally just me. Um, so the only kind of reference that anybody had of any knowledge of someone being trans was off Jerry Springer.
Like,
Yeah,
but it,
that's literally all this country had an idea of what anybody trans being was. So nobody had any knowledge or understanding or anything like that. Um,
did they think
so
you were just
yeah,
trying to be like
so
a drag queen kind of thing, or I mean, because Jerry
yes,
Springer was such a parody of humanity, and people must have just thought you were just trying to like be eccentric.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, as I said, like we're talking like I was like 16, so everyone just thought, oh well, um, it's someone off Jerry Springer or like Lily Savage, who was like a big famous drag queen from the UK. Um, and that's like literally who they thought I was trying to emulate. I'm like, no,
Wow.
I'm a girl. That's who I am on the inside. And I need
Yeah.
to rectify it on the outside, but they couldn't comprehend that
Wow.
because
So
they were just like,
you,
oh, well, you're still a kid. It's just a phase. I'm like, no, it's not a phase. I've been telling you since I was 10.
yeah. So you went through this whole thing by yourself. Like, I mean, like now there's Instagram, there's Reddit, there's litany TikTok, there's a litany of social media for this. You just did this. You didn't have anybody to have a frame of reference, I guess.
No, so literally, I kind of, as I said, after the newspaper article, I kind of got disowned by all my family. I got kicked out of school. All my family disowned me, with the exception. If you ever see my Instagram, I talk a lot about my nana, my grandmother, because after she saw how things went down and how the family treated me and stuff, she was the one family member that stood by me. And
Oh,
bear in mind, she's like the older generation, stuff like that. She was like, well, no. She says, I might not fully understand it, but I'm not going to turn my back on you.
Yeah.
Um, so she moved me out the family area. Her and my granddad helped me legally change my name because I still needed adult consent. So they helped me legally change my name. They bought me a brand new wardrobe. They paid a
Oh,
deposit on a place for me to live, and they were like, "Right, there you go. You go do you." And
yeah.
that was when I officially transitioned and started living as Karen.
That's
And
amazing.
then my journey then started from then going down to London and starting on my HRT and started on my HRT when I was 18. um, and yeah, here I am
Oh,
now. Here I am now, 42. Like
wow.
finally decided to get like a little bit of FFS bit behind the schedule, like,
Yeah.
but hey ho.
It's
Oh wow, that hurt.
it's oh, poor thing. That's just, I mean, that's so amazing because honestly, I don't think I could have done this without the community, basically, and without it being kind of sadly kind of in vogue. It's sort of it's
Yeah,
okay. I can't imagine back in the 90s where like even being gay back then was sort of faux pas to do. Um
Major faux pas
did
to do.
yeah, did your parents ever come around?
and they did many years later. I mean, I didn't speak to any of my parents or other siblings or family members for about what 10, 12 years.
Wow.
Oof.
Because so literally when I transitioned, um, I literally just cracked on with it, started on my HRT and started getting on with my life. Um, However, in the mid 2000s, the Gender Recognition Act came out in this country, which meant that you could legally apply for your new birth certificate. Now, as soon as that came out, I applied for that, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to get this." And but I knew that if I actually got it, any of my family members or anything like that wouldn't be able to find me or get hold of me.
Yeah.
So I branched out and they were like, well, yeah, actually, we'd want to get back in touch with you. So I was straight to them. I was like, well, everything that I told you all of these years ago, I've actually now gone through. I'm officially Karen now. And they were like, all right, okay, well, we'll start to get to know you. And yeah, we started to
Oh.
build our relationship from there.
Um, I did want to have real quick, just ask a just real quick question. What was it like when you got kicked out of school? Did they bring you into the principal's office and they're just like, look, you're trans and that's against the rules? How did that
Um,
go down?
kind of. It was basically they pulled my parents in, and we went into basically yeah, into the principal's office, and they were like, "We're really sorry, but we can't have him in. We can't have him in the school anymore because this whole trans thing is too distracting for the other children." Um, so
Jeez.
I was seen as the issue. It was like, oh yeah, this whole trans thing. It's just no, we can't have this in our school. So it's like, yep, there you go. So yes, I got kicked out.
So they didn't offer you like another school to go to? They just sort of said, get out of here and good luck.
Yeah, pretty much. I turned around and says, oh, you can come back to do. I got invited back to do two exams.
Wow.
Uh, but
And
like when I'd been at school to like do coursework or stuff, I was like, well, I'm not really going to do too well at the moment.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like setting you up for failure at that point. Wow, that's insane. I can't that and that was the 90s. Jeez. You would think that's like, the 60s sounds like. Um, and so your parents at that point were when you got kicked out, they essentially were like, "Look, you're out now of a family too," or was that or did it all happen all at
Uh,
once?
it pretty much all happened at once. It was like because, yeah, don't get me wrong, it wasn't right what they did or how they went about things. But at the same time, I couldn't I couldn't understand how hard things were for them as well. It's like, yes, it was definitely hugely wrong, the fact that yes, I was a kid and they should have looked after me and stuff like that. I get that. But at the same time, I also have empathy in the sense of as hard as it was for me having this child come out as trans in a very small community and them not understanding what to do. So I mean, I didn't understand that my dad got made fun of at work and got a really hard time and all of that. And I didn't understand this until many years later. At that time when I was like 16, 17, I didn't care. I couldn't understand, but
You shouldn't
I think
have
that helped
to.
us build. I think that helped us rebuild some of our relationship as well. As hard as it was for me, it was also hard for everybody else as well.
I guess that's kind of, yeah, I don't know. My parents are always saying, be patient with us. We're working on this. You don't like they want me to think how hard it is for them. I I guess I maybe someday I'll see what the way that you see it now, because right now I'm just like, look, I'm not doing this to y'all. It's 2023. Like, open your mind or get out of my life. But
Yeah.
that's very admirable of you to like be able to see it from their side. That dialectic thinking is
Oh, it took me a
pretty
lot of
mature
years
of
to
you.
get to that point, and obviously it took me to like get basically through my transition for me to see it in that way. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I think when we're all going through our own personal growth and our own journeys, then
Yeah.
yeah, it's very much focused on ourselves. But it's only with hindsight afterwards that I was able to try and say, well, actually, yeah, as hard as it was for me going through all of that, I can kind of see how much it was in the sense of a grieving process. In the sense of like, well, yeah, basically, I was technically the oldest child, the oldest son, shall we say. So they went through the grieving process of, well, yeah, that person died, and ta-da, you've got a daughter. Um, so
Yeah.
uh, from a parent and sibling point of view, it is a grieving process because they lost that person. That person is gone, and
Well, I mean, in a certain respect, but in the same vein, I know Bree and I especially have had like a similar story of we both got called murderers by our significant others as when we came out. Um, Sorry for airing that laundry, Bree. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that one on this episode, but
Yeah,
yeah, it
sure.
got essentially, yeah, my wife at the time was saying this is, she needed time to grieve the death of her husband. And I was like, I'm right here. I'm just happier and better.
yeah,
But I guess I can see, yeah, I
I
can see
think
what
that's
you're
just
saying.
things from their perspective.
Yeah.
I So the way I equate it, and it's the best way I can equate it, and it's probably not the best analogy, but still. So I had once upon a time I had two cats.
Okay.
And these two cats, it was Skittles and Flour, right?
Yes.
So I had Skittles and Flour, but so I had
Daddy's gone.
Skittles. What?
I love it.
Daddy's gone.
That's such a Rachel.
Yeah.
That's just such a Rachel story.
So I had two cats. I had two cats. I had Skittles and Flour. And I had Skittles first, and Flower was an outdoor cat who really wanted to live indoors. And I said, you know what? Come on in. So I opened up the door and let Flower in. And as they're inside cuddling and just being this cute little cat family, I'm like, how cute would it be if Flower was named after a candy too? So I decided I was going to change Flower's name to Snickers. I knew Flower for a couple years, but I was going to have Skittles and Snickers. And after like 3 days, I said, you know what? Fuck it. Like I can't get Flower's name right. I keep calling her Flower because that's how I know her as Flower.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I
Well,
can
that kind of
equate it.
works.
That's pretty good, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
I get that.
Oh.
I
That's funny.
Skittles and
Hang it, your flower forever.
Exactly.
Or
Exactly.
Skittles, taste the rainbow.
Karen, so you said you're the oldest. You have
Yeah.
siblings,
Yeah.
and are they close in age to you?
Yeah, so there's like a year and a half between me and my sister. Um, and then I've got two younger brothers that are 2 years younger than my sister. And then I've got my youngest brother who's 10 years younger than me.
Oh wow, all full
So I've got
siblings,
I've got one sister and three brothers.
and they're all full siblings.
Halves.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How did they handle it when you came out?
Um, hmm, Not exactly great. I mean, I don't think my sister liked the idea of the fact that, well, she wasn't like the only girl anymore.
I think
Yeah.
you would think she'd love that.
Well, yeah,
It's like having a
I think
giant Barbie.
oh yeah,
Like
I think
dress
it
her
took
up.
away from her glory. It took her a little bit of a while to get her head around it.
Mhm.
Um, and then the fact that like the brothers were the fact I'm like, well, no, I was like the oldest brother that they looked up to, and I'm a girl. It was like so. It was just yeah.
Oh,
It wasn't the greatest, shall we say?
I guess I could see that. Kind of like my older brother is sort of the path set. He's kind of the leader of the what was the Breer Boys. Um, yeah, so I could see the leader being kind of like the heart, like when the leader um shows something that's maybe not as accepted,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
but yeah, they can see it as almost like a damaged thing. But I guess it's showing vulnerability, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
but we have a good relationship now. I mean, I'm really close to my sister, my youngest brother. I think there's a picture of like me and Arian on Insta. He's like the really like tall one, and I've got my arm around him.
Is he single?
Is he single?
Yeah.
No, you're not getting into my brother, Daddy.
I know. I don't want your brother to get into me.
He's 32 and a boxer. Leave him alone.
Sorry, Rachel, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say? How said I?
so, um, just thinking about, 1997
Yeah.
and the ways of the world back then. I was, knee high to a grasshopper at 7 years old.
Thanks for that.
Um, was 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 like was trans like transgender, like was that even a word, or like was that even a
Well,
known?
technically, it was transsexualism back then.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, transsexualism.
And that word
Um,
is still floating around in the medical world. It was on my
Oh,
official
that word is
diagnosis.
Yeah.
still very much alive. That
Yeah,
word is still
so
very
you
much
went
alive.
transgender. It was like I'm transsexual.
Great.
Huh. I
When
mean,
do we
doesn't
start
Yeah.
porn?
doesn't it mean
I
does it?
actually I actually think that's in my official diagnosis too, Bree. I think
Yeah,
we're
I got my biopsy back and it said problems, transsexualism. I was like,
Problem.
oh, cool. There's the
it's a
past rearing its
problem.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's on like my first diagnosis when I got diagnosed with gender dysphoria.
It's
It's like the
like
doctors haven't caught up yet.
wow.
No. Um,
Yo, speaking of doctors not catching up yet, um, I went to the doctor the other day, and and this is like my hormone doc, right? And a day, like literally the next day, I got an email from Dr. Pendleton's office, and I'm like, "Yo, great! My test results came in." And literally the first thing in this email is, "Hello, Mr. Daisy," and I'm sitting here, I'm like,
What?
We've been doing this how long?
yeah.
Apparently they got a new software,
Oh, they
and
said Daisy. Oh,
every after your appointment, literally the next day, it sends a "thank you for visiting our office" email.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
apparently, we haven't updated the gender marker in their system.
Oh.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, mine's not either. It still says male patient, once nuts removed. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Um.
once nuts removed.
Wow.
Yo, on that note, YouTube bitches up there. I get out of the car today. Like I've had like the stomach bug going on. TMI, I'm sorry. I've had this stomach bug going on all day. I get out of the car and I'm sitting here. I don't even know why. I get out of the car and I'm like, I don't know if I was like just sitting weird or something, but like my balls hurt. Like I feel them in my chest. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I just need to go get these motherfuckers cut out.
Get them gone. Just get some rubber bands. It's the same thing.
Oh my God.
I need to
Um.
use, I need to use
I
that
actually
skin.
I
need
did
to use that
vaguely
skin.
attempt that.
Wait, Karen, say what?
I says don't because I did vaguely attempt that all of those
You
years
know,
ago.
Oh,
yeah, I saved up enough and almost did it. I was like when I was
Listen,
in high
I come
school.
from a small like farming community. They did it to sheep. Why wasn't it not going to
Yeah,
work for me?
yeah. So oh crap, I did have. Oh, I wanted to talk about. You said nothing's off limits. So when you came out, were you dating anyone? Did you have like boyfriends, girlfriends, siggos in high school?
Uh, no. Um, so um, I'd kind of dabbled a little bit, shall we say? Um,
Dip your toe in,
but
just the
but
tip.
my
That's fine.
but my sexuality wasn't so much on the radar, shall we say? Um,
You were
because
working
I
on
was
you.
yeah, because I was more consumed by my gender. Uh, I couldn't tell you at that point if I liked boys, if I liked girls. I wasn't particularly asked. I'd kind of like tried this, tried that. All I knew
Yeah,
was, right, I'm a girl and I need to get this shit sorted out.
yeah.
Um, so it was something that was very clouded at that point, shall we say.
When
Uh,
when do you think when did because you're in a relationship now, when did relationships start coming back into the picture? And how did that come
uh,
about?
it probably started coming back into it in in my 20s. Um, and once I started getting like really confident with who I was, um, and well, presented as myself, and actually, do you know what? Yeah, this is a really, really hot girl, and people started to look at me this way. Yeah, this shit is cool. So then it was just like, yeah, free for all, let's go.
Free for all. Oh, well, let's dig into that. What was
What you were laughing at you?
what were the what were like your first experiences? Did you
The
yeah.
Newcastle gay scene.
Wait, what?
the
The
Newcastle
Newcastle
gay
gay
scene.
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Like seriously, if you get the chance, look up the Newcastle gay scene in the 90s.
Yeah. Just going
That shit was
gangbusters.
off the hook.
Gang.
It was
I'm gonna
like
look this up right
the
now.
night. Yeah, and I'm like this little trans girl like this, like, yes, can the candy shop here.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
So they just sort
like
of
but
like took you under their wing and
yeah, because like you got to think it's like we could like drink in this country from like the age of like 18. So like I was all like nicely dressed up and like in these nightclubs falling out of these nightclubs at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
really. So it was pretty lucrative, I guess you could say, in terms sexually.
Then it was fun.
Did you clean up? You cleaned up. You just
No, yeah.
Just smashing. You're like Super Smash Brothers over here, just smashing everything.
Oh
Smash,
my
smash, smash. I love that game.
I mean, girl had it. I was gonna work it.
um, yeah, that is, and so you're married now.
I
Wait,
have a partner. I'm
you have a
engaged.
partner. Okay. Um, how did y'all meet, and how is the being trans? How has that affected the relationship? Oh, wait, is she there?
How how
Yeah.
did we meet?
Whoops.
Ch-
Is that okay to ask that? We can skip if you want to skip, then and we'll talk about it later.
um,
How's it going? No, we need to be very candid.
so she followed me on Twitter.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
okay.
Because obviously, like having been out for quite a while, obviously throughout the years and everything like that, I've had relatively big platforms and kind of well known on different social medias and stuff like that. Sometimes I've like built them up and then brought them back down and like redone new ones. But yeah, on one of my old accounts, she used to follow me, and yeah, just like kind of like messaged me, and we started talking from there. And we
Oh.
went on a few dates, and yeah, here we are. All of
I
this
love
time
when
later.
I love when you can meet someone from the online and the offline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that was it. It was like we just kind of like clicked, and it was it was good. But yeah, she was a little fan follower from my social
Oh, it's a
media.
little fangirl.
Amazing.
That's how
Oh.
I that's how I met my last friend with benefits. Like I love it.
Actually, yeah. Ugh. That's
Oh, I
fun.
mean, I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some give and take there. There's some good and there's some bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
Some good, lots of bad.
I've been on one date from the dating apps, and everything else has come from either Instagram or Reddit lately.
yeah,
Wow, I am just
chasers
pathetic.
are Harry Sugar
Yeah,
Daddies.
yeah, chasers are great. How when did you got on the all the internets when all the social media started coming out, I guess with Twitter and everything. How have the chasers been? How were the chasers back when like Twitter was first coming out? Were there people just wanting to fetish fuck you all over like there are now, or was it?
Oh yeah, that stuff's always been around. Uh, and obviously back at that point, obviously I was pre-op and everything like that. So
What
I was
what
I
was
was a little bit more desirable, shall we say?
what was the '90s version of Grinder? If the newspaper is '90s version of Facebook, what would you say Grinder was? Would that like the personal
AIM,
ads?
AOL
Yeah,
Instant Messenger.
Ashley
the, the, the,
Madison.
the classifieds in the back of the Daily Star or the Daily Mail.
Oh
In
yeah.
search of T for T.
Yes, that was the one.
Craigslist.
Craigslist. That's it.
The T for T in Craigslist.
LOL.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That is fantastic.
rest in peace, Craigslist personals.
Oh, um,
It's my
so
college right there.
I
So-
know.
I guess we haven't covered your surgeries yet. Do you mind telling us about what's going on? What you've got going on
What's
right now?
going on?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just my night look. I always look
It's
like
like
this.
stuff going on. What do you
It's like
mean?
It's like a new CPAP machine. Just kind of like it's very
Right.
very minimalist.
So, right. Um, so I'll talk to the process. So, as we said, I transitioned all of those years ago, HRT when I was 18. But uh, I think from my perspective, I kind of like generally always kind of passed relatively well, shall we say?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Uh,
You're a super fan,
but
baby.
then, but then Like I don't know, I got to like my 40s and I was like, yeah, okay. Um, let's kind of like get a bit of FFS done. So yeah, so got my rhinoplasty. So it's been like made smaller and a nice little peak brought up like
Oh.
this, and the hairline and everything. Um, which wasn't like really overly bad because like years of HRT, it wasn't exactly receding. They've just like filled it and fluffed it out a bit. Um,
Yeah, I guess that's probably the good thing about starting when you're in your starting on hormones at 16 is you don't get that male pattern baldness. God,
yeah,
that shit
yeah. Thankfully,
sucks.
that wasn't exactly there. And then apart from that, yeah, I've had breast dog and my vagioplasty. So yes, I've got my lovely decided vagina.
Oh
Designer
Lord, you
vagina.
you, you said vaginoplasty and started leaning forward. I thought you were about to bust that shit out. It's like,
Oh, I mean,
hold
No,
up.
no, 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 not in this topic. It's very, very tight as it is.
that's for we can go full on after hours for this one too. Just y'all want to see some tits?
That's a full on after hours.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
that's
We
beyond
I can
Patreon.
copy with that cleavage too.
Yeah. Uh,
So
so are you?
so
Oh,
we've
great.
heard your procedures of what you've had, but tell us where you are, because where you are right now is really high up on my bucket list. I really want to go where you're at.
Where I am? What, Turkey?
Yeah,
Okay,
uh,
yeah, I'm in Turkey at the minute.
yeah. How is that?
so
Oh, yeah, it's nice over here. I mean, it's like really, really cheap. I mean, obviously, like managed to come over here, and as I said, I managed to get both of these procedures. So I'm across here for like 16 days.
Damn.
Into the hotel, get the transfers, take it to the hospital, and obviously I got this done the first day that I got here, and then I had this done on Monday. And then I've still got like another week's worth of holiday. So yeah, it's
Awesome.
really, really nice over here. The weather's nice. We're going to go to the wildlife park zoo tomorrow. Well, today now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And then
so
Time zones. How do they work?
yeah,
Fucking
well,
time zones.
it's kind of like four o'clock in the morning now.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast. 4 o'clock.
It's fine. It's great. Like it's weird for me because if we were back in the UK, it would only be like 2 o'clock in the morning. But
How did you find the doctors that you have got for this? Like, how did you find a doctor in Turkey?
just like researched.
You just look in the
Uh,
newspaper, or
what what now? No,
where it all started.
like social media and the internet, and then looked at like reviews
Woo!
Oh,
and like some of our friends that have gone like through similar procedures. Like I knew that like they were like a relatively decent team to go with. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna choose these guys to sort out the hotel and the transport and the surgeries. You pay like the lump sum and everything gets
Yeah.
encompassed in it.
Um, I guess one of the things I've noticed is a lot of people who are in the UK will go to Spain or I guess Turkey. Nobody ever
Yeah.
comes to the US. Why don't y'all? Is it just because of our screwed up healthcare system over here?
Well, yeah, you guys are as special over there as we are special over here.
We're all little snowflakes.
we're on the we're on
Yeah,
We're
the
all unique,
we're on,
just like everybody. Everybody's unique,
well,
just like everybody else.
well,
we're on the
that's
do
it.
not travel list.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, in all fairness, it's like some of like the concepts and the thinking over there. There's not a lot of people want to go over there, so there's not an awful lot of people want to go to the UK either.
Oh, true.
You know the movie The Lion King.
Yeah.
Everything the light touches will be your kingdom, but that shadowy place over there, don't go there. We're the shadowy place.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
have
are.
candy.
We're the third world country wearing a Gucci belt over here.
Literally though. Literally though.
So, Karen, Rachel, Bree, and I are all late bloomers in terms of the trans realization. If we have anybody who listening to this podcast, all three people who ever check this thing out, who are in their just kidding, we have a lot. But who are in their teens and questioning, like, what's some advice that you'd have to somebody who's in their teens? Like, I mean, that's a vulnerable time of your life.
Um, I guess just trust yourself and believe in yourself. And yes, it is hard. And I think one of like the big catchphrases or sentences that I live by and use is I didn't transition to be different. I transitioned to be myself.
Oh, cute.
And I think
I
it's
love
about
it.
people I think it's about people understanding if you've got these thoughts or you've got these feelings, don't just push them to one side. There's clearly something going on there. And it's all right to live your life and it's all right to be who you are. Um, some people will like it, some people won't like it, but fundamentally, it is your life. It's not a matter of what other people think. It's your life. You live it for yourself. And that's what I did. And that's what I'd like other people to do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well said. Yeah, I know for me especially, just the fear of what people would think. Although I've realized now, like, most of the people who I thought were gonna have bad reactions either don't care or have had good reactions.
Yeah.
So I think most people are just proud. If you're, if people care about you, they want you to be happy, and they're just like, look, we don't care if you're David or Danny or I was gonna also be Emily for a while. I could pull off an Emily. Anyways, but yeah, but they want you to be happy, and I don't know. I think like your bravery at 16 is super admirable because you were able to see all of that, like, and I guess get through it. Did you ever have doubts and like think maybe this wasn't for you?
I never had doubts. Uh, that's the one thing that I can be resolute on. And I never had any doubts about who I was. Um, I had, um, I guess I had a lack of understanding and doubts about how to get through the process, but I never doubted who I was. It was like, no, this is me. I know I need to go through this, but at that initial age back then, I didn't know how to go through it because, as we said, there wasn't really the internet or stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so I need to find a doctor. Where the fucking hell do I find a doctor? Um, so it was hard, but it never made me doubt who I was and think, oh well, maybe it's just going to be easier for me to stay like this. I was like,
Yeah.
nah. The only way that I'm staying like this is if you end up putting me in a box.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I feel like most people, yeah, at a certain point, come to that realization. Um, yeah, as somebody who went back in the went back in the closet for 6 years, 5 years. Yeah, I definitely am impressed by anybody who can come out and stay out like the first time. That's all three of y'all are pretty impressive. So not cowards like me.
I mean, I always have a giggle about it because, in all fairness, I was a very, very cute little boy. I mean, I was the spitting image of a river phoenix.
Oh.
Like,
Yo,
seriously, go on my Insta and look at like my pre-transition. I was the spitting image of River Phoenix out of Stand By Me with the little short hair and like stuff like that.
on that note, on that note, question for the panel here. When you post like a throwback like timeline picture and someone's like, "Oh man, I would have done you as a boy, but I definitely would do you as a girl." I'm sitting here, I'm like, "Bro, that's weird." Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's It's weird.
Yeah. Well,
I
when they
don't
turn
like.
around and say, "Oh, you look cute both ways." Well, no, that's like
Well,
that's like
and
a
I'm sitting here. I'm like, cool. Like that's great. It's fantastic. But I didn't do this to look cute. Like I did this to be me and to be happy and
yeah,
to be comfortable in my skin. Thank you for
exactly.
saying that you would. Thank you for saying that you'd do me either way. But guess what? You're
It's
not
like
gonna
that.
do me as either.
Well,
So
Yeah.
that's essentially why like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people think we do this is because we're like hypersexualizing ourselves, and like I know a lot of the dudes on Tinder are just like, "Hey, can I come over?" It's like, "No, we can go on a date." And like, "How about instead of going on a date, I just come over?" And it's like that they assume that because we've had experience with that male drive for sex that's we're just like we're and that we have that same drive, but now we just take dick. And I mean,
like
not completely wrong, but
I feel like
we do take
I
dick.
feel but like I posted so
Oh shit.
one of my big things with my boyfriend was I'm like
Bay.
was you don't ask my name before my transition. You don't ask to see pictures because that's not pertinent to who I am now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I did not know that he subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I posted a timeline video that includes pre-transition pictures. So guess what he saw? And I asked him about it when I found out he was subscribed to my YouTube. And he was like, I saw it, but honestly, like it didn't really phase me because I don't know that person. And I'm
yeah,
sitting here, I'm like, see, that's why you get me.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
I
And
feel
that's how it should be. It's like, yes, that element inside of it might have been a part of all of our lives, but fundamentally, it's who we are now. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I do the stuff on my social media as well, and it's like I put like my uh, pre-transition videos up and like stuff like that. But like mine's all from like a positive perspective to say, yeah, do you know what? I did this shit all of these years ago. I believe people can do it now. So I do it from that perspective. But it's also I say, well, no, this is who I've been for all of these years. So I'm sharing this part of my life and my story with people. But I don't expect people to then try and say, well, that's that's this or that's that. It's like, well, no, you don't need to know what that name used to be. You don't need to know. I'm just sharing it as positivity to try and say I could do it at 16 and at this time, so I believe that people do it now, and the support is out there.
Yeah.
it does seem yeah, it's I know for me especially because I transitioned at 37. So there was a lot of my life as a cis white guy. And so there's a lot of comparisons of how adult me, male adult me would do things versus female adult me. It must be so interesting, like, if we're doing those kind of timeline things of like, I guess for us, it's easy to see apples to apples kind of thing versus like, there was never an adult version, male version of you to like look at. And
Yeah,
it must be, I'm go back and forth is like, it's kind of,
that
I don't
that
know, like
that, that
for,
is definitely weird, because it's yeah, there was never that adult version. It was there was only like that little teenage child version, so I can't even speculate or like think of like what the alternative would have been.
yeah.
It was just, well, no, that was just like a little boy, and
Well,
I'm a grown ass woman now.
I guess for me, the thing that's hard though is differentiating the two. And so when something happens, it's so easy to regress to, you know, the way that I used to think about things. And this is how, this is how 37-year-old David would act in this situation. And it's just so hard to divest who I am now from that personality. Like which of the attributes am I taking on as Danny,
Yeah.
and which ones are these attributes that I attribute to myself? Is that a male thing or is that just a me thing? And I don't know. I guess it must be nice to like know that everything is authentically you that you've grown up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. Uh, I think all of that. We all kind of know that feeling of when you first transition, you kind of like literally test everything out,
Yep.
and it's like, yeah, I want that outfit. I want to do
Yeah.
this. I want to do that. Yeah. Well, thankfully, because I got to do that when I was a teenager, it was I managed to like grow into my own style and find out who I was and stuff like that. So it's like when I was younger, I had like the really, really long hair and was like super hyper femme. Got to like my 30s, and then I was like, oh, well, do you know what? No, I now fancy like the full tomboy lesbian look. So like literally shaved all my hair off. Well,
Hot. Like
well,
G.I.
you, well,
Jane? Yes.
you can see some of my pictures. They're on there as well. It's like, well, one
Yes.
of the side of my head, I shaved it down to a zero, and then like had like the fringe going
Mm-hmm.
across like this, and like
Mm-hmm.
rocked the whole like tomboy femme look. Um, and
I'm
then like
stalking
the
you
nice little like
tonight.
checking, and then like the little checking outfits and stuff like that. So like, thankfully, I managed to like find out all of these things, um, and like here I am now, and I'm like, well, sorry, I'll go back to like a bit more feminine like stuff, and like my hair's like grown back out again, and like nails, and it's like, yeah, I could just like rock whatever shit I want.
That's awesome. Yeah, like you've gotten to run the whole gambit of like I think that's the hardest part for me is being 38 and having the mental capacity of like a 24-year-old because I'm like, oh, I want to be in college again. This is
Yeah.
I have the theory that everybody regresses to the age that they really wish they could have been a girl in. Mine apparently was like junior year of college, where I'm like, I'm kind of a slut, but I also have the future to think about.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god. Danny, that needs to be your Instagram bio, please.
I know, isn't
I'm kind of a slut, but I got to go to class. So
I'm very
I have
wholesome.
responsibilities.
Oh, God.
yeah, but that's I did regress. I went and bought some of the stuff that I cannot rock, being you know Amazonian woman over here. But yeah, it was like I want to be a slutty for a little bit. I bought so many fucking thongs. Good lord, I don't even like wearing thongs. Yeah, but I just wanted to go to a college party and hike them on up and be like, "What's up, boys? What's that on in?" I got class
Check out this
tomorrow,
whale
but
tail.
Listen, if it makes you feel any better, even after surgery, I still don't like wearing fucking thongs.
oh yeah, oh.
It tries to fucking
I
eat
can't
it.
stand them.
What?
Like, if it's not my ass trying to eat it, it's my front bum trying to eat it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, no, it's not that. Just give me a set of fucking Bridget Jones. It's sensible. I'm all good.
Front bum.
Yeah, but that's
Then
it.
there's me over here.
Yeah.
Got me thumb halfway around my clit.
Every day.
That's
Every day.
That's so funny.
um,
Danny, you need to make that a sticker. I'm kind of slutty, but I have responsibilities.
yeah.
Still thinking about that.
I'm kind of a slut, but I got to think about the future. Yeah. Um, but what are some of the things that you have noticed? What are the things that were Here, I'm starting a bunch of sentences all at one time. What is some things that you didn't expect about transition that you were really surprised about?
Oh, uh,
These kind of tough questions. I'm thinking about the future.
it's I think um, first of all, how long the whole process is. Like seriously, like thinking about it when I was like that little kid, I thought, yeah, it's going to be great. Overnight, they're going to give me this magic pill, take me straight into surgery, and everything's going to be fantastic and all sorted. Yeah, shit, that took years.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it was that. It's like, yeah, we don't like think, oh, this is just going to be an easy process. It's a very long and hard process.
Well,
So that was definitely something that I learned that I'd probably like educate people to try and say, well, do you know what? Yeah, it's going to be a long and hard road. But then at the same time, I'd say how the trans community is also built up over the years, um, especially through the likes of like social media, um, and even within the general community itself. I mean, I've got trans people and uh, other people from the LGBT community within like Newcastle and all around the UK, but then also on obviously on social media. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've become friends, Danny and Bree and everything like that. We've got to know
yeah.
each other. But it's like the whole wider community is out there.
I think that's one of the things that's kind of been sitting in the back of my mind too is there's like this hurry up and wait kind of mentality of like get everything done really quickly. Like the
Yeah,
first year to the first, I guess the first 3 years when they say like they give you this thing of like here's all the hormones are going to be happening, and it's I kind of like focus everything into these 3 years, and it's like but there's like a lot more after that. There's like at least three more maybe, and then maybe three more after that. I don't know how long
yeah.
I'm gonna live, especially being the slut that I am. Um,
That's
but um, all my fiancés on Instagram, one of them's gonna kill me. Um,
One of them.
but sorry, Adolf.
Oh
Um,
God.
Oh God, Adolf.
but yeah, like it's almost like there's this. I feel like everybody when I first started transitioning, I kind of thought of it as this like 3 year period, and then it was sort of into the oblivion after that. But I guess
Yeah,
like what you're saying is, yeah, you did it at 16, 18, essentially, in your late teens, but it just kind of keeps going, and you're never really done.
yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. It's like I'm 42 now, and like this bitch is now getting like FFS and stuff. It's like seriously.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
let's just wait 26 years and then get FFS.
yeah, yeah. It's such a like. I feel like the first year was just gangbusters. I know there's a person at work that just came out to me who said I haven't I've been lurking in the trans channel. I'm 6 months on hormones, and I was like, oh, that's great. How's it going? They were like, I have not seen any changes yet. And it's like, baby, baby, baby.
Mm.
Oh,
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 bless.
sweet baby. But that was the same shit. I mean, like at 6 months, I was like, why do I not look like a girl? I just look like this androgynous blob. But
Yes,
Yeah.
you waited for the budding. It's like, oh yes, I can now feel my first little bit of budding and breast
yeah,
tissue.
yeah, you're expecting like that it's going to be after 3 years, it's going to be boom, and you're going to be, and then of course at that point you can then the next adventure comes along. It's like maybe okay, so I transitioned, cool. Maybe I'll be a mountain climber now. Like all these different lifestyles. Like cool.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll I learn to fly a plane or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's I feel like the transition thing is just going to be one of those lifelong things, and anybody who speeds through it. For those listening, I just pointed at myself. Self call out.
You are speed running this shit.
I am. But yeah, kind of good. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the thing that I would caution against is doing anything that I do. If you want to know what not to do, check out my blog that I'm going to start right after this.
But I mean, no, like, and that's the crazy thing. Like, it is a marathon, and it's such a wave of mother trucking emotion. Like, I know me, like, hormones did me well. Like, I'm very pleased with where I am. But
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
but I'm but I'm sitting here, you know, like I'm about to start year 5 of hormones, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's one surgery I want left. Like, there's one surgery that's like my no questions asked, it will get done. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, like it's still so far away. Like, I don't even see the surgery date on the calendar yet because I'm still working through laser hair removal and I'm not making any progress. And I feel so stagnant, and I absolutely hate this because I feel stagnant. And like, it's like, you know, going into year 5, I thought I'd be done with this. Like, I thought I would be over this emotion, but it's a marathon, and it's not something that even once this surgery is done, it's that marathon's not over. Like, we're still running the race, you know?
Yeah.
It's the longest marathon you'll have in your life, aside
Literally.
from life itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Like,
like-
something will always come back and like bite us in the ass or like creep from the shadows. And it's like, as you said, it's like I got to that point of like receiving that surgery for myself, and it's like, okay, now I'm kind of thinking about this. It's like, well, and it just like continually goes on like this, and it was just like, okay, it just like creeps up on you. It's that constant marathon of like the slight little bits of creeps of dysphoria or things like that, and it's like, well, yeah, we're going to just continue going to keep going through this.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing that I always say is, like, I know I've gotten hit up by a couple of people who are younger, and they're like, I may start when I'm, when I get older, and I can start later. And it's like that whole, I can't remember who the proverb's from, but it's like the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the second best time is right now. And so if anybody out there is listening to this is questioning, definitely talk to a therapist, talk to a doctor, talk to somebody who's not just a bunch of jokers on YouTube. Listen to us, but don't listen to
For those listening, we're pointing to ourselves again.
Don't listen
I
just
don't
to
know
us,
who you
but-
three are talking about. I'm all good, are you?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I encourage anybody who's, because I don't want to seem like we're just sitting around. All the right wing people who are listening to this are like, wow, listen to them just grooming all these kids. And it's like, no, talk to a therapist, talk to somebody who's licensed. But if you're having thoughts, it doesn't get easier. Trust me.
And
I wish I had done it when I first came out.
well, and like, I think you hit on a very, very great point, Danny. Like me myself, like my first bout of gender dysphoria was when I was about 6 years old. I didn't start medically transitioning till I was 28. But honestly, like if I knew now that I could have started when I was 15, 16 years old, me personally, I wouldn't have. And I'm not saying anything negative about anyone who did, because that was what was the best decision for you. But like for me, the changes that hormones would have brought, more likely than not, would have meant that the children that I have wouldn't be here. And I can't stomach that. In the pit of my stomach, I can't stomach that. So like that was the decision for me. That was the best decision for me. So like you said, therapy, because these are heavy thoughts, and
Yeah.
you probably need like an impartial person to talk this shit out with. My take.
Yeah, it's I definitely think that there are benefits to both sides. Like I will
Mhm.
always harp on the fact that I milked the fuck out of that white male privilege. I would not be nearly if I had started transitioning when I was younger, like in my 20s, I probably would not have gotten half the opportunities that were afforded to me by being a nerdy white dude that nobody really expected too much from, other than he could probably fix my computer. And I could, and I did. And they threw a crap ton of money at me for it. But you know, it. But would I go back and trade it all in for being able to? I don't know. I guess be me at a younger age. Yeah, I mean, it's up in the air because right now, like everything is working ish. But yeah, um, yeah, talking to a therapist is definitely better than listening to any jokers on Instagram or Reddit, unless the doctor is actually on Reddit, which I'm not sure why a doctor would do that. But um,
Actually, believe it or not, I've actually had conversations with the famed hormone doctor, Dr. Powers, on Instagram. Or not on Instagram, on Reddit. He actually, believe it or not, is on Reddit.
huh? Oh,
Yeah.
It's fine.
interesting.
I thought
I
that was crazy. I thought that was
yeah
crazy.
yeah. I
But
mean, on Reddit especially because I'd see it maybe on Instagram, but on Reddit, huh? Um, crazy. Um,
crazy world.
Karen, we have a question that we like to ask all of our guests, and you have
Okay.
not been prepped at all for this. Rachel, do you want to do it? You do the honors.
Anything that comes out of you, Danny, I'm not prepped for.
Are you
Come on, you got it. There's
okay?
so much
Okay.
sexual innuendo in that.
So the so this is unprompted. This is unprompted.
I'm completely
Yes,
Okay.
it
unprepped.
has not been warned.
Good. Good.
Just for
Okay.
you. Special for you,
Thank you.
BB.
Thank you. So, what would you say is your transition theme song?
Fight Song by Rachel Platten.
Okay,
Oh,
I could see
wait,
it.
that was
I could
fast.
see it.
Wow. Wait, had you heard that we asked that question?
No,
Oh.
but if you actually look at some of my transition videos, that's the song that's actually on them. And
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
it's Rachel Platten
Well,
Fight Song because it is. It's like
well done.
it's been a fight. So yeah,
um,
I'm
oh,
impressed.
I had a
It was very
question, but I
fast.
can't remember what it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything that comes out of me, you're not prepped for. Oh, we got to work on that.
um,
Oh, is this after hours yet?
better get those flyer air miles in.
Woo, it's getting hot in here. Is it just you?
That's what she said.
It's hot in here. So,
Oh, I've not gotten any in a long time.
Take
So,
off
anyways,
all your clothes. Well, half of yours are already off.
wait, say it again. Your accent is so dreamy, but
No, this isn't an accent. This is the fact that I can't really speak through my nose at the minute because it's all bugged up. I sound like I've got a serious cold.
oh, but you look fantastic.
I really don't.
Oh, see, I see the forest
I
for the
look like a
trees.
fucking
So,
trans cat.
say what?
I look like a trans cat.
Oh,
Like one of the sphinxes. Like this is like
Meow.
I'm not even joking. When I came round, my lovely other half took a picture of me and drew fucking whiskers on it.
Oh wow!
You look like a cat. I'm like, really? Thanks. I'm like, yeah, I've got slanty eyes and the forehead, which thanks so much.
Oh, that's
oh, God.
fantastic.
I just have Lady and the Tramp in my head right now.
I'm just thinking of all the pussy jokes I can make.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
They're endless
yeah.
to the end of time.
But it's like that whole thing of like don't think of an animal but not a polar bear. It's like, oh, I can only think of polar bear, so I can't think of like. But as soon as we get off this, I'm gonna start rattling off some pussy jokes. So, um,
Some pussy jokes.
I got you, baby. Um, cool.
My
Yeah.
pussy's got very cute lips. I mean, how many pussies do you not have lips?
What? Okay. So let's say significant others. And what? Sorry. What's your Sorry. What's your name again?
Asking you. Sorry.
What's your name again?
Isabella.
Isabella. Okay. Isabella, don't take and this is we're doing just hypotheticals, okay? Purely hypotheticals. Okay, so Isabella has not come into the picture yet, and you're 42 and just getting out of FFS, and you go to the bar, and a really cute guy comes up to you and just like, I love your the catness about you. You have a certain feline aesthetic. Meow. What would you take said guy? He's a 35-year-old stud, 6'3". He's on the crew team at Oxford.
That's clearly a hell no.
Really? Okay. Well, okay. So he's a.
Because chances are he's a fucking Tory then.
I don't know what that means. Okay, so he does. So
I'm
he's,
from
but
Oxford, so I'm clearly joining the UK government. Yeah, fuck
no,
right
no,
off.
so well, but he comes up and he goes, "I'm going to Oxford, ironically, because I'm not a Tory." So he's like, "Fuck those guys," and I really want to just take you home and just give you some treats. I don't know.
So
what like so?
They're peanut butter flavored.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's your dog. It's fine. Oh.
I don't. My nose is blowing bubbles.
Okay. So a strapping young man comes up and tries to take you home. Do you go?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. What would you say? It's a trans woman from, I don't know, Virginia comes over and I don't know, and she's coming over and she's just software nerding it up over there and kind of like, hey, my hostel's not gonna be ready, and you seem really nice. Can I come home with you? What do you do?
I'd say she stands a better chance.
Oh wow, okay, huh? Cool.
I just sorted that out.
I mean,
What is this?
she showed the pie symbol for whatever reason.
Oh, pie.
Polly.
Oh.
Polyamorous.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi. What are tickets like?
Yeah.
Over there?
But yeah, so it's like I don't know. Like for me, it's like predominantly being settled within my sexuality. It's like more girls and stuff like that. So it's like plenty of guys try and like yeah, it's very flattering, but it's just like no, I'm sorry, you don't do anything for me.
Really? Not even like if they're like chiseled abs and just they look like they just got done on the crew team at Oxford. I don't know why.
No, I'd rather have like a nice squishy pair of tits put in front of me.
Really?
Oh hell yeah.
Are you cis exclusive or trans or
All encompassing.
oh, look at you, equal opportunity.
Well, yeah,
This is gonna be a good episode.
don't want that lawsuit. Equal opportunities.
Yeah. You're an equal opportunity banger. I love it. Me too.
Yeah.
Love is love. Anyways, well, very cool. I dig it. That is that is good to know. I uh awesome. Um
Danny's over here.
Yeah.
Danny's over here looking for tickets to Turkey
I
while we're recording.
not just the UK, to Turkey. It's like they're now.
Going
Not
right
they're
now.
It'd probably be better to come to the UK. So
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
across
this
the
has
pond.
this
Looking
has
up
been-
tickets to Leeds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to go to Leeds.
why do you want to go to Leeds?
Soccer
Hey,
team's Leeds is awesome.
Leeds is all right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I did live there for like 6 years,
But you're in Newcastle.
but it's all about Newcastle,
Newcastle.
all right, trip to England. You two do what you do, and then after you get done, we're gonna go kiss the Blarney Stone because that's
Yeah.
my thing.
Bloody
Okay.
Stone.
Game
Yeah.
on.
Let's do it and then go kiss the Blarney Stone.
I will tongue that stone.
We might as well get the Yorkshire puddings and the black pudding in there while we're at it, and a pint of Guinness.
Oh, and then we
We'll
see
hang upside
Kizzy.
down and make up with that rock.
And we can all go see Kizzy too. Kizzy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Kizzy.
Yeah, Kizzy's great. For those who are
He's
just
in
tuning on just
Florida
this
right
episode, if anybody's just tuning into this episode, we are talking about our friend Kizzy Wizzle, who was on our first episode of Girl Dad Girls. So go check it out.
The first episode?
Second episode. Second episode of Girl Dad Girls. She was our first guest.
Number 2.
That is an epic name, by the way, Kizzy Wizzle.
Kizzy
Oh,
Wizzle.
yeah.
So, so, what does anybody have? You want to do final thoughts?
Who, me?
Here, I'll go first. I'll do my final thoughts first.
Oh,
This-
it's Jerry Springer now.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry. Now it is.
You
My
really
final
have.
thoughts.
Had to.
Rest in peace, Mr. Springer.
Oh, yeah. God, that guy was such trash. Oh, but yeah, no, I think it's this has been really illuminating. I don't think we've talked to anybody who's been transitioning for longer than maybe 5 or 10 years. So this has been really illuminating to hear your story, get to know you a little bit more, hear about your brothers and everything and how cute they are, but no, I think we've this is.
We're going back to
I
the
mean-
sword with moral here.
No, I think it's been really fun, and thanks for for being able to being so candid with everything with us. So, and for your
Okay.
bravery too, because it's people like you that make this possible for people like us.
Oh, you're welcome. I've really, really enjoyed it.
Anybody else have final thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I think it's pretty incredible that you came out at the age that you did, because you did it back when I really, really wanted to. But being in Texas in the 90s, that was not happening without multiple beatdowns or death by father. So, I hold you in very high regard when it comes to what you did and what timeline that happened. So that's thank you for doing that. That's kind of a beacon
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And also, I'll toss my 2 cents in here. I think it's really insightful, one, to hear from someone who's been transitioning for so long, but then along with that, just reminding us of how crazy different of a time it was back then. Like
Absolutely.
Danny, Bree, myself, like Danny alluded to earlier, we had, the benefit of having a worldwide support system when we first started. And you didn't have that, and you were literally out here, for lack of a better term, fending for yourself in the wilderness, just trying to figure shit out. And that's so crazy to even think about in this day and age. So thank you for sharing your story and sharing that part, where even when you might seem like you're alone, you still can do this.
Yes.
Yeah. Well said, Rachel. Well said. That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, Bree, do you want to do it? You want to take us out? And what's going on next? Are we doing an after hours?
Are we? Do I smell after hours? I think I do.
It's
It might be me because I got a
it's
shower.
it's 20 to 5. It's already after hours.
Oh, yeah. We
Last call was like 2 hours ago.
yeah. We already
Yeah,
talked about
right.
sex. We already
Yeah.
figured out that
We're good.
gonna
I'm not
bang.
quite sure what the surgeons call this as recovery.
Oh yeah, cool. Bree,
But
take it away.
All right.
Take us out of here.
This has been another episode of Girl Dad Girls. I'm one of your hosts, Bree St. Marie. We have that QT Danny B, Ravishing Rachel, and Karen Lawson. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute delight to have you and very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
very welcome. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
This has been a production of Girl Dad Girls Podcast. Check out new episodes every Thursday. If you are interested in knowing more, please email info@girldadgirls.com or find us on Instagram @girldadgirls. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.